Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 274th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Straight away you'll see this map is not the usual featureless flat map. This map is the Nordic Woodlands map. So you've got big open spaces, plus you've got the woods to fight in if you want to. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Cal, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks, who's also bought the Rome Scipio faction. If you notice there, I think Steve's bought something like 3 archer units and something like about 14 infantry. I think there are 13 or 14 infantry. But if we look closer at his infantry there, I see that a lot of his infantry have got 7 upgrades on. So that's an experienced strike, gold shield, gold attack. You see, if you count them up there, 7 there. Some of his units have got 6 upgrades on, some have got 7. So he's got several mixed upgraded units there. But if you look at his general, you can see that his general unit is fully upgraded. So that's 3 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack, and that general will be absolutely formidable. Plus he's got an eagle unit as well to give his infantry even more morale once the battle gets started. Okay, our next teammate is RTW player Turk. A lot of you will know Turk. As you can see, he's bought the Rome Brutio faction. And then our final teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Scipio, Rome Scipio faction there. So there's our team there. As I say, this is an interesting map. It's not just featureless, you've got woods as well as big open plains. You wait till you see the opposition. This should be a great one to watch. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Ulon, who has bought the Rome Giulio faction. Just like to draw your attention here to he split his army into 2. He's got his main army here with his general for good morale bonus there for that A army, if you like. And then his B army, if you notice, he's got an eagle unit. So he's actually got a morale giving eagle unit in his secondary army as well. So that's pretty good tactics there. So both his army has got good morale there for when they get into the fight. And I see that he has bought 6 cavalry there as well. So that's a pretty good, formidable army there. Should be interesting to see how well he uses those split armies. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Spartan Leonidas. You don't see Spartan Leonidas on the battlefield much these days, but he's still a great player when he does come on. And if you notice, his general unit is an ordinary Praetorian cavalry unit. Not the general armoured unit, but an ordinary Praetorian cavalry unit there. I guess he's got that for the extra number of cavalry. You see, he's bought the Rome SPQR faction there. And their third teammate is a Brotherhood member Uther. He's called himself King Uther in this battle, but it is Brotherhood member Uther. Just like to draw your attention here to his army. That's a tried and tested army that he's got there. But if you notice within his infantry formation, can you see there's 3 units? Unusual units there, and that's he's got 3 archer units there. He's kind of got them embedded with his infantry formation, really giving them good protection, all-round protection there by that infantry. It'd be interesting to see how well he uses those archers. He's usually quite good with them and gets good kills with those archers. And then he's got his 6 cavalry there. If you notice the upgrades on his cavalry, 8 upgrades. So that's 2 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So these Praetorian elite cavalry are even more elite with all those upgrades on. So pretty, all in all, that's a pretty solid army he's got there. Tried and tested one, I guess, too. And their fourth teammate is Brotherhood member Mystique, who has bought the Rome SPQR faction. And once again, you can guarantee that would be a tried and tested army as well. So with all these great players on the battlefield, this should be a really good one for you to watch. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, you can see Uther moving forward with his Julii army. And you can see, I think it's Cal with its Scipii force moving over to the left there. Also, you can see Mystique moving her SPQR army forward to support Uther's attacking aggressive tactics here. I think Uther would like to catch Cal's army in the flank as they're moving with his cavalry possibly. That's why he's moving forward. And if you notice, I've just got my cavalry over there to support Cal if needed. As you can see there, Uther's moved his army forward there. I was just thinking, I wonder whether Steve might have thought of a quick aggressive attack on Uther, but I see Mystique's army is really coming up fast behind him there, so maybe that that tactic wouldn't be really worthwhile there. As you can see, my army is coming over from the other flank there. It's winded already, so when I get over to this flank, it would be a good idea for my army to have a rest. Remember, you can your troops get winded, tired, very tired and exhausted, and really you want to play them in fresh or warmed up if you can. So I need to have a break when I get over there, let my troops rest. As you can see, the enemy moving their cavalry out to our right flank there in a threatening manner, just probably looking for maybe a soft spot or something like that they can hit with that cavalry. Let's just pause the game for a second for us to take stock of exactly what's happening in this very early stage of the battle. Let's say you can see the enemy cavalry moving out to the right. We're just actually trying to form up at the moment. You can see I'm taking my infantry over to the other flank there, to that left flank, but they are winded, so before I get into any combat, ideally I would like to rest them and ideally get them back to fresh if I can. But as you can see there, the armies are squaring up to each other there. If you see our other teammate, Turk, is moving his Brutier army over to us as well. So we're going to form up as a team in this particular area of the map. You can see the enemy SBQR forces and Julii forces moving over to their allies as well. So I got a feeling that where all the allies are at the moment, I think there's going to be that's where the main battle's going to be there. As I say, with all these great experienced RTW players in this battle with years and years of experience, this should be great. Okay, so this is still, as I said, the very early stage of the battle here, and you can see straight away that there's a lot of pilot exchanging going on between Uther's troops and I think Steve's troops there. The two pilot shield units on either side there are really sharing their pilots with the enemy pilot shield units there. As you can see, Uther and with his Julii army and Mystique with her SBQR army there facing Cal and Steve. And if you notice, as I said before, the enemy have got their cavalry out to our right flank in a threatening manner, just looking for the right time to be able to send that cavalry in, probably at an angle to hit the flank of our allies there. See Spartan Leonidas moving his army over from the left flank there over towards his allies. As I say, there's a lot of pilot exchanging going on at the moment, a bit of skirmishing as well. I think that's either Steve or Cal's, one of Cal's units are going into Testudo. Hopefully, they're hoping there. I think Cal's hoping there that the pilots will be targeted at that Testudo unit, and of course, in Testudo, the pilots don't do a lot of damage in comparison to just in open order there. Now, as you know, RTW player Turk is a very aggressive player. And as you can see there, he's already charging his Brutier cavalry into the forward units of Uther's infantry. My guess is that Uther, with his archers there, would target that cavalry, probably with fire arrows, so it just not just causes casualties, but spreads panic as well. As I say, I think basically most of the players on this battlefield have been playing RTW since it first came out. I think there's a couple that probably haven't, but the vast majority have. So there is literally years and years and years of RTW experience on this battlefield, and it'll be interesting to see how well that experience is used. You see Steve there charging his cavalry once again into the forward pilot shield units of Uther. Remember, when infantry in open order, they are very susceptible to cavalry hit and do suffer a lot of casualties. So that's why Steve just charges cavalry in there. As I say, he's probably suffering some archer casualties there, but probably thought it was worth it to rout that one Julii pilot shield unit there. If you look at the general disposition of the armies on this right flank, Cal can see the danger of the cavalry. It's got 3 infantry units over there and his own cavalry to block any attack. And if you notice that Steve there's pulled his cavalry back, ready to charge in. If you notice that Turk has got his cavalry within Steve's infantry there, ready to charge straight in at a moment's notice. If you notice, my army's at the back there, resting. Now my units are fresh. I'll probably take my position on the far left flank. Yeah, as you can see, I moved my infantry forward now to take my position up on that far left flank within the woods there. And it looks like I'll probably be facing elements of Ulan's army and possibly Spartan Leonidas' SPQR units there. Probably elements of both there on that left flank. As you can see, Turk moving forward again. As I said, Turk is a very aggressive RTW player. Likes to grab the initiative and take the battle to the enemy. As you can see there, a lot of pilot exchanging going on up and down the battle line here. So surprising how many casualties lots of pilots can cause before they even get into hand-to-hand combat. Let's say there's a general panoramic view of the battle as it stands at the moment. As you can see, Turk charging his cavalry in again. This time a lone SPQR unit, and bang as that cavalry hits and causes that SPQR unit to rout. Nice surgical hit there from that cavalry. If you notice, I think it's Ulan's retaliating with a counter cavalry attack there. But if he doesn't pull that cavalry back soon, if he gets hit by a counter attack, those units are in danger of routing. You better up. There you go. They got hit there. They probably got scared by the. They were frightened by the amount of enemy troops that were there anyway, and then to get hit by that counter attack, routed those couple of units there. As you can see, Mystique taking units forward, making sure that she's got her forward units into Testudo. As you can see, that Testudo is getting hit by pilots, but not a lot of casualties there. But if you look in comparison to open order units, you can see the casualties that Cal was taking there. As I said, in comparison to the casualties that the Testudo takes from pilots. You can see Steve charging his cavalry in again, going for a Testudo unit, SPQR Testudo unit there. I think this has got a potential for a lot of big cavalry hits in this battle. As I say, Cal's got some of his units out the front in Testudo, hoping to take the pilots in that Testudo unit rather than his main units there. Right, if you notice, Turk's charging his cavalry in again, targeted a lone SPQR Testudo unit, and if you notice that Uther's counter-attack with his cavalry, remember Uther's cavalry, remember what we saw earlier? 2 experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack, really serious cavalry there. As you can see there, and you can see that Turk and I think Cal are both counter-attacking with their cavalry as well. Let's just pause again for a second for us to take stock of exactly what's happening. So over here on the right flank, you can see Cal's got 3 infantry plus his cavalry out there to counter any flanking attack there. You can see there's a lot of skirmishing going on. Now if you notice, can you see Steve Longshanks, his units here are stretched. Now that's where he's actually fallen out of formation, and now he's moved his units forward, and that's how they actually go. They actually go long like that rather than wide. So that could be a potential hit point there for the enemy to look at maybe. That's where they might try and hit. If you notice that Turk is there in the left centre, facing elements of SPQR units and Julia units. As I say, if you notice, I've taken my army to the far left flank, and I'm currently being attacked by Julia cavalry. Now my guess is that they're trying to soften up my pilot shield units here, ready to bring in more infantry units there, and hopefully pilot my main battle line. But that cavalry will be suffering a lot of casualties as well, probably from my pilots going into that cavalry as well. But as you can see, I'm facing one of Ulan's army and his cavalry, and there's elements of Spartan Leonidas' SPQR infantry there as well. As you can see, Ulan's moved one of his armies up into that centre position to help reinforce Uther's army and get in between Uther and Spartan Leonidas' army there. But Leonidas has got his cavalry this end as well, looking to support Ulan's army that's facing mine. Meanwhile, back over on the right flank here, you You can see there's still a lot of skirmishing going on. As I say, with all the cavalry on both teams here, there's potential for massive cavalry hits to go in here, and maybe one cavalry hit at the right time could just break through maybe. I say, if you look over onto the far left flank there, you can see that Ulan's still attacking my forward units with his cavalry, still trying to cause casualties there. If you notice, they got a piler hit for their trouble there, killed several of the cavalry. But as you can see, as I said, I'm facing red Julii units here and SBQR units as well, plus SBQR cavalry and Julii cavalry as well over on this left flank. They say I have to get down low to let you see the filming of the actual action there underneath the trees. There's a lot of archer fire going on as well from both sides. Remember, both sides had archers, so there's a lot of archer firing going on. As I say, Mystique is here, several units in Testudo at the front of the main battle line. If you notice that Turk is charging his, looks like he's charging his Brutii cavalry in again. Looks like he's going to target that one SBQR unit there, or maybe he's going to hit the two there. As he charges in there and managed to rout one of them anyway. Nice hit, but he's getting a lot of arrow fire on in there and a lot of piler hits as well. So he probably suffered several casualties there from that hit. You notice that Cal's going in, targeting a single Testudo unit as well. They seem to be surgically striking with their cavalry these Testudo units, especially weakened ones that they're hoping to either rout or weaken still further there. Remember, when you charge a cavalry in, the chances of the enemy infantry shoving loads of pilers in your direction is very real and can cause you a lot of cavalry casualties there. If you notice, Cal's now moving his infantry back there, trying to neutralise any flanking attack that might be coming round his way. And if you notice, Mystique is moving her infantry back into line with her allies there. Right, if you notice here, once again, Ulan's charged in with his cavalry, once again trying to weaken my forward units there. Very aggressive attacking tactics here by Ulan with that cavalry. As we said in other battle videos, really, cavalry getting tangled with good infantry in general, not very good. If you notice the dead cavalry there, you'll see there's a lot of dead cavalry there, probably from piler hits as well as infantry hits as well. There's a general disposition of the battlefield as it stands at the moment. As you can see, Uther and Mystique have got cavalry out to this far right, very strong cavalry, and they could be looking to charge in there. But as you see, Cal's got cavalry as well as Turk out there, and he's got good solid infantry there as well. So I don't think it's time for a big cavalry hit yet. It's almost like people are taking a breath at the moment before continuing with the fighting at the moment. As you can see, Turk bringing some more infantry units over here to kind of shore up that little bit of the line between him and Steve. And meanwhile, here over on our far left flank, I'm still facing one of Ulan's armies and SBQR unit supplied by Spartan Leonidas here. I think in time what I'm going to have to do is probably attack on this left flank. You just have to wait for the probably for the right time to do that. Let's just pause the game for a second to take stock of exactly what's happening. Let's say over here on the right flank, you can see that Cal with his cavalry and infantry there are facing Mystique's infantry, Mystique's cavalry, and Uther's really well upgraded cavalry. So he's got a good job to do there. And in the centre here, you can see Uther is facing Steve Longshanks. Now, Steve Longshanks has been reinforced by Cal and Turk there after his units fell out of formation. And then you can see that Spartan Leonidas is sending troop units off to attack my army now to help reinforce his ally Ulon, who's also attacking me. But if you notice, there's a lot of cavalry facing me at this time. I'm just wondering whether they're all the enemy's thinking about moving all their cavalry down on that flank and trying to do a massive attack on my army down there. Now that army of mine is an old army. The infantry's got quite good upgrades on, so if they do decide to attack aggressively down that end, it'll be interesting to see how well my my old army does on the modern day battlefield. Let's say this is a real slogging 31k battle match here. This is really attritional, if you like. It's like trench warfare a little bit here, and it'll be interesting to see who's going to get the upper hand. You see there's a lot of pilots being thrown into my units there, into my forward shield, pilot shield units there. I noticed that Spartan Leonidas has brought down more of his SBQR units to reinforce his ally. But can you see the enemy cavalry here now facing me? I've got basically all the enemy cavalry except for maybe a couple of missed cavalry facing me here. Now it's starting to make me wonder whether they're thinking about doing a massive attack on my army there. So it'll be interesting to see what develops over on that left flank. But as you can see, Mystique's SBQR cavalry there, she's moved round to the right flank there. And if you notice that Cal's noticed that and has brought his cavalry over to counter that cavalry movement. But as I say, at the moment it's just a bit of skirmishing in the main battle lines between the two battling armies there. If you notice that Turk was aggressive and attacked first, and now if you notice that Ulon's sending infantry forward to counter Turk's aggressive attack there. There's a close-up of the two armies fighting. If you notice that Uther now has switched his cavalry from over on our left flank facing my infantry, and he's now brought his cavalry back over here to the right, to our right flank. If you notice that Mystique has got infantry and cavalry over there on that right flank, if you notice, and now Uther's brought his cavalry over as well. Now if you notice that Uther's spotted a target, I think I know what he's going for. Can you see the flank of our Brutii allies teammate there? He's engaged, and I think Uther's looking to smash into the flank of those engaged Brutii infantry, and bang as that cavalry hits. If you notice that Turk's allies here, Steve and I think Cal, are moving infantry forwards, units forward there to try and counter that cavalry hit. And if you notice that Turk is sending his cavalry in as well. But there you go, that was a nice little move there by Uther. Did the damage that he wanted to, and then pulled his cavalry out before the main cavalry counterattack could hit him. Nice tactical move there by Uther. And if you notice that I think Spartan Leonidas has sent his cavalry in a charge as well. And if you notice that Uther's taking his cavalry back, ready to charge in again. Let's just pause the game for a second. Say over here on our right flank, not a lot going on there at the moment. In the right centre, a little bit of skirmishing going on there. Just a little bit of skirmishing. Sorry, in the right centre there. But over in the left centre, you can see that's where a lot of action is going on. Now, a lot of our units look a little bit misplaced there. They're not really in a solid battle line. So that could be a bit of a soft area of our battle line there that could get hit. Meanwhile, over on our left flank here, if you notice, I've moved my infantry forward. I've decided I'm going to attack on this left flank now, try and take a bit of pressure off my allies. You notice I'm running my infantry forward, probably with a view here to attack the enemy SBQR in front of me. And I've noticed that the enemy have pulled their cavalry away from this flank. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and take advantage of that and move my cavalry into a left flanking position there while engaging the enemy infantry in front of me. Okay, can you see I'm engaging and pinning the enemy infantry in front of my my troops there while moving my cavalry out to that flank. Now I know the enemy's going to spot what I've done there, and they're going to move their cavalry soon. So what I need to do is hit the flank of those engaged SBQR units before the enemy can counterattack with their own cavalry. Okay, Spartan Leonidas has spotted that. He's bringing his SBQR cavalry down. I'm just hoping that I probably won't rout any of those SBQR units, but I'm hoping to actually cause a lot of casualties. Now I've got to pull my cavalry back out before I get hit by that counter-attack attacking SBQR cavalry. You notice I've pulled them back as a SBQR cavalry charges in, and bang as that SBQR cavalry charges in. My guess is there that Spartan Leonidas had charged that cavalry into my engaged infantry, but at least my engaged infantry is facing his cavalry head on. So I'm now going to turn my cavalry back round and counterattack his counter-attacking cavalry. If you notice, I've routed a few of his cavalry units there by doing that. So as I say, what I'm trying to do here is be aggressive, attack on this left flank, try and take some pressure off of my allies further on up the battle line here. But I'm facing both elements of SBQR units, Spartan Leonidas SBQR units, and elements of Ulan's Julii units here as well. So let's just pause again for a second. So as you can see here, trying to be aggressive, trying to cause problems to the enemy on this left flank here, trying to draw reinforcements away from my allies' battle line there, trying to get the enemies to send reinforcements down here to shore up their flank. As you see, there's a lot of enemy cavalry out there that's watching my troops rather than attacking my allies. Now there you can see, if you see, Spartan Leonidas has got some infantry in behind our battle line there and is closing in. You can see Uther's aggressively attacking with those super cavalry of his, super upgraded cavalry. And as you can see at the moment, the enemy are being extremely aggressive towards our force there. Over on the right flank though, you can see there's still not a lot going on, but it seems to me in the centre, the right centre and the left centre is where the real action is starting to take place. And that could be a make or break for either team there. Whoever breaks the army in front of them in this particular right and left centre position here could go on to win the battle. Right, if you notice here, can you see Spartan Leonidas sending in SBQR units in? Bang, as that cavalry hits straight into my engaged Scipio troops. But if you notice, I've counter-attacked with my cavalry, trying to neutralise the attack of Spartan Leonidas' cavalry there by using my own. Very intense fighting all the way down the battle line here, and now on this flank of mine. If you notice, I've got Julii units coming into the flank of my army there, which I've sent infantry units to neutralise that attack coming in on my flank. Plus I've got SBQR troops in front of me here, both cavalry and infantry. So I say I'm trying to be aggressive here, trying to draw enemy reinforcements down to this flank to try and relieve my allies' main battle line further on up the battlefield there. Meanwhile, as we go up here into the main battle line, remember, can you see the enemy Julii have got cavalry in behind our engaged troops, and bang as those units go in. That's a very bad position for us to be in there, where we've got enemy cavalry in behind engaged infantry. If you notice, Cal has moved units down from the right flank there to try and reinforce our centre. If you notice, Uther's charged those super upgraded cavalry into Cal's infantry. Nice hit there by Uther's cavalry. And remember that we are the green and the red, and the enemy are the purple and the purple and red. Or the enemy, we're the green and blue. Sorry there. Right, if you notice, I pulled my cavalry out from the woods. I'm now charging into the flank of engaged Julii infantry.
The leader of allies has been
right, if you notice there, that Julii infantry is engaged with my infantry. I'm smashing into the flank. I'm hoping to rout those Julii units there. Okay, now what I really want to do is to move my army up the battle line, up the battlefield, up towards my enemy, my allies' forces there. Okay, I've dealt quite a few deaths to the enemy on this flank, and now I just want to move up to the centre there to help my allies out. As you can see there's some SBQR cavalry that's attacking me, which I've sent infantry to deal with. But as you can see, I'm trying to break through the Julii army that's in front of me here to get up to my allies. That's where my goal is try and get up to, as I say, to help them out and try and take some pressure off of them. As I say, the enemy are the SBQR and red Julii, and we are the green and the blue. The green Brutii and the blue Scipii. So just at a glance here, you can see how the battle's going. Can you see there seems to me to be a lot more red enemy troops and SBQR troops there in comparison to ours. And as I say, Spartan Leonidas has got some infantry units up behind us as well there. Nice tactical move by him. But as I say, what I'm trying to do now is get my infantry up to the main battle line there to help my allies out there. As you can see, there's been some intense fighting here between myself and the enemy units. If you notice, there's Julio units being sent down to try and block me getting up to the main battle line there. So I think it's a slight slope. I think I'm fighting up a slight slope here to get up to that centre line. So I'm still being hit in the rear by SBQR cavalry, trying to block me, trying to stop me from getting up to that that centre part of the battlefield there. I think our Brutite allies general's just been killed, and it looks like the SBQR, the enemy SBQR troops are starting to roll us up from left to right there. Although we've sent some of our Scipio units over to try and block that. As you can see here, I'm really trying to be aggressive with my infantry and cavalry here and pushing forward. As I say, I really want to get up to try and get into the rear of those attacking enemy troops that are attacking my my allies there. As you can see, I'm really pushing forward here with my infantry, hoping to rout these two Julio units that were put in my way to slow me down. Right, I've routed them. Now I just want to take my infantry up to help my allies now. I haven't got a lot of cavalry left. There are a lot of battle damaged cavalry, and a lot of my infantry has been battle damaged as well. But I'm hoping that maybe by the time I get there, I can help. Right, just pause again for a second. As I say, I've attacked from the left flank here, and I've pushed through the enemy, and I'm moving up to the left centre here, trying to get in behind the engaged enemy troops. As I said before, the enemy are the red and the purple, and we are the green and the blue. So just at a glance there, you can see exactly how the battle's going. If you notice, Cal's still got some fresh units there that you can throw into the fray at any time, but he's watching the enemy SBQR units opposite him. So as I say, if I can just get my infantry up there and attack the rear of those engaged enemy troops, we might be able to do something here.
Be praised.
Right, if you notice, I'm charging my cavalry. Now can you see I'm going for the enemy general? I'm going for the rear to hit into the rear of the enemy general there with that very battle damaged cavalry. Bang, as that cavalry hits. And it looks like we managed to get the general there. Okay, so you can see my infantry moving forward, trying to be aggressive here, trying to take out as many of the enemy units as I can. As I say, trying to relieve my allies. The pressure's been on my allies basically all the way through the battle there. My troops are very tired. Well, I'm still going to throw them into the fray. Some of them are warmed up, some of them very tired. But if you notice, a lot of the there we go, just pause again for a second. Can you see a lot of the enemy Julio units are starting to rout, but can you see there's some enemy units coming in behind me? As I say, there's a lot of enemy SBQR and Julio units starting to rout at this stage as we're moving forward with my infantry. So if you were a betting person watching this game at the moment, which way do you think it would go? Do you think the red and the purple will win, or do you think the blue and the green, our team, will win? I noticed that a lot of us have got our generals left still, so we're still giving a lot of morale bonus to both teams here. So it's going to come down to who probably gets the luckiest attack, or who makes a nice tactical move that could win this game. It's going to really be on a knife edge, I think, looking at this battle. If you notice that Cal still got his cavalry, bang, as that cavalry charged, and I think he just took out maybe the SBQR general there. That was a nice surgical hit there by him. If you notice, I've got my general stood back from the battle at the moment, just giving morale bonus to my troops. Right, can you see a lot of the enemy Julio troops? Just pause again for a second. A lot of the enemy Julio troops are now starting to rout after the general's been killed. Remember, we're the green and the blue, and the enemy are the red and the purple. So as you can see, a lot of the enemy units are starting to rout now, and I think the battle's starting to look pretty good for our team. There's still a lot of enemy units left, but basically we've routed most of the Julio army there. So it'll be interesting to see how this battle's going to go. As I say, we've got some enemy units coming in behind us there. I can see an SBQR unit in behind one of my units there fighting. See, luckily Cal still got some of his cavalry left, and that might be pivotal to the outcome of this battle because it's on such a knife edge. One particular cavalry hit at the right place might just cause a mass rout of the enemy. That's one of our generals has just gone down, or one of our Scipio generals, so that's not very good for our team. That means the morale of his troops are going to drop now. See Cal still charging his cavalry in. Our troops are still fighting well. Let's say this battle is really going to be on a knife edge to see who's going to win this. Cal, as I say, still got those very battle damaged cavalry, but if he can charge them in just at the right spot, they might just do the trick. If you notice, we got some archers attacking us in the flank there. Right, if you notice now, can you see several of our Scipio allies units are starting to rout?
They are not soldiers.
They're starting to rout now. Can you see Cal charging his cavalry and trying to go for that red general probably? Bang, as that battle damaged cavalry hits. But I've noticed now that we're starting to lose a lot of our Scipio units, starting to rout. Let's just pause the game for a second. Remember, once again, just to remind you, we are the blue and the green. The enemy are the purple and the red. So just at a glance at the battlefield, which way do you think this is going to go? As I say, if you were betting people, which way do you reckon it's going to go here? It's so close. It's going to be right on the knife edge, I think. You see enemy units that have rallied are starting to come back into the battle again, hitting us in the rear. Okay, can you see a lot of our Scipio units starting to rout now?
Are no friends of Rome. They are running from the field.
And it looks like if we're not careful, we're going to have a mass rout, or I think our troops are going to mass rout here. And there you go.
The leader of allies has been slain.
So our team has
loss is hard for us.
has gone on to lose there. Really well played to the other team. A very, I think you would agree, a very close knife-edge battle. If you look at the dead on this particular part of the battlefield, you can see how intense the fighting was right the way through. Really, really intense there. Okay, just to say, really well played to everybody in the game there. Really well played to Mystique, Uther, Spartan Leonidas and Ulon. Nice game there, guys. Well played, and a really deserved victory there for you. Well done. Very close win. Very well played. And really well done to Steve Longshanks, Cal, and RTW player Turk. Just like to say, really well done to Uther for kills there. 1,568 kills. Highest kills in the game. Well done, Uther. I think a lot of those kills were archer kills there. He's used his archers extremely well. And just to say, well done to RTW player Turk, Brotherhood member Cal, and Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks. Really well played, guys. Some nice teamwork, some nice aggressive counter-attack in there. Really well played. As I say, well done to Mystique, Uther, Spartan Leonidas and Ulon. Some nice teamwork there, some aggressive attacking moves, but above all, a lot of really good teamwork as well. And I hope you all enjoyed watching this very close battle. It's a real slogging match, a really good 31k.